welcome to TMZ Live. Tomorrow is the day Diddy will find out just how long he is going to spend, not just behind bars, but in prison.
Right, and right before that sentence comes down, one of his alleged victims is actually speaking out on his behalf, speaking to the judge specifically, and the person was known in the indictment as Victim 3, but Gina Hun wants to make it clear she was not a victim at all, and she has spelled it all out in a pretty detailed letter to the judge.
And blasting prosecutors.
Really, that's the point of her letter, is to say that prosecutors kind of played dirty pool because Gina Hun is Victim 3, who mysteriously did not show up to testify.
Remember, it started with just one victim, Cassie, and then they added two others, Jane and this Victim 3. But prosecutors were saying, we can't find her.
We can't find her. We don't know where she is.
Telling the judge this.
Right. And then she never showed up, never testified. Well, I think we know why now. Gina said in this letter, I cooperated fully with prosecutors. I met with them 3 times. During those meetings, I felt pressure to feel like a victim. They insisted that I was, even when I expressed my truth otherwise. I understand they concluded that I had been sex trafficked and involved in, quote, forced prostitution. I did not agree with that conclusion. I was not trafficked. I did not engage in prostitution. That would have been my testimony. I was subpoenaed and fully prepared to testify and answer all questions truthfully. But I was informed by my lawyer that I would not be called to take the stand.
So that's different than saying we can't find her.
Story.
And I got to say, 2 things. One, it's really, if you believe it, it's an indictment on prosecutors who were just doing everything they could to convict this guy, even if the evidence didn't show it in part. And with Gina, she said it didn't. But the second thing is, I don't think this matters. I don't think it matters in terms of whether the judge is going to give
Even if it is a black eye for the prosecutors, how is it going to affect the sentence?
She never testified, so she's not relevant in the case. And Cassie and Jane did testify. So in deciding what to sentence Diddy to,
the people who showed up in court are going to have more of an effect.
They should have the only effect, right? Because they're the ones before the judge where the judge can evaluate what they said and decide if it's appropriate to take what they said into consideration in imposing a sentence.
Let me just throw this out at you. So yesterday, I believe it was, the prosecution argued a couple days ago for 11 years in prison. And this goes to, according to Diddy's people, the idea that the prosecutors are being overzealous in their prosecution. That's a ridiculous request that shouldn't even be entertained by the judge. The judge should come way down.
Right.
Maybe they could use this witness, Gina, to suggest there's a pattern of overzealous prosecution here, and really to discount their 11-year recommendation.
You know what? That's a good point. You're right.
I have to say,
you're right. They'll probably make that point tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I also don't think that Gina wrote this just on her own.
Yeah,
I think this was a conversation with Diddy's attorney.
Because
to share her experience.
And there are a lot of people who believe, and that's a really good point.
She's teeing it up for what they're going to
There are a lot of people who believe, what the defense is almost saying is time served. They're willing to do 20 months or whatever, but that effectively is time served because he's already served a year. So if they do 20 months to 30 months, which is probably what the defense wants, versus 11 years, a lot of people thought the judge might just split the difference, meet in the middle. If they can discount the 11 years by saying that this is just more evidence that they just have it out for this guy, then their argument is the centerpiece. That's right.
Right.
So that's actually a really good point.
It is another point, though. If prosecutors did, in fact, misrepresent to the court that they could not find Gina, and she says they could find her, I was prepared to testify, that's a big deal. The judge will not look fondly on that. I almost have a difficult time believing it. These are career prosecutors. They are very good prosecutors.
Well, one of them's been fired.
One of them. Yes, but as a political vendetta. Right, as a political vendetta. Right, exactly. But that's a big, when you're a prosecutor, you do not mislead the court like that. You will lose your job. You will get reprimanded by courts. That's a big deal. I almost have a difficult time, I have no idea, right? But I have a difficult time believing it, just lifetime prosecutors who are this established don't do that.
My name is Brene. I'm from Atlanta, and I feel like Gina is definitely changing her story now to stay on the Diddy money train. I feel like she's seeing the big payout for Cassie, and she thought that she was going to secure a really big win. She really thought that she would possibly get a good payout as well, and her switching up right now and saying, oh, well, you know, I was pressured and this, that, and the third. It's all to stay on the Diddy's money train. I've did several tarot readings around this. I don't see him walking away from this.
But here's the problem with
Hold on. Did you hear what she said? Did you say you did several tarot readings around this?
That's correct.
Do we want to explore that?
Go.
Wait, so you were watching the trial and you were doing tarot readings as it was going on?
Yes, I actually do tarot reading for a living, and
So did you see the verdict coming?
10 years. 10 years or less.
Oh, that's the sentence.
Wait.
The sentence you see.
10 years or less. Of course it's going to be 10 years or less.
But I predicted this.
I mean,
before.
I'm 6'20". I am 6'2" or
20.
shorter. I mean,
I predicted this before trial. He hadn't even made it to trial.
but did you know
I'm
that?
not messing with the tarot cards. Whatever you
on.
say.
Did those cards show you that he was going to get acquitted on 3 counts, the main counts?
Yes, I seen that there would be a lot of confusion around what they were going to charge him with, because it wasn't about what has been said. They have a lot of evidence on him. It was about who was willing to testify. A lot of people did not testify. And, you know, the cards revealed a lot of other things that he does behind the scenes to get these things done for him.
We need to keep her number for the next big trial that comes up.
Well, I do have one other question. Jackson's flying tomorrow. Good idea, bad idea.
It's going to be good, Jackson. It'll run smooth.
Okay.
Didn't have a chance to look at the cards.
Thank God. Yeah, wait, you didn't even look at your cards, miss.
I don't have to. It's a gift.
Well, Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner are in the middle of a lawsuit that they have filed. We broke this yesterday, that they filed a defamation lawsuit against Ray J over some statements he made claiming that there is a federal investigation, a RICO investigation against the Kardashians.
So he said it he intimated it on one of our TMZ docs on Diddy, and then he tripled down on his own live stream where he said it's bigger than Diddy.
We got Judge Mathis out in New York City and asked for his take on this case. He seems to think that, clearly thinks that the sex tape is somehow involved in this. We have not heard that, but this is the judge's take.
I don't know if she should sue at all. I mean, the fact is that this is something she did and became public. I think she benefited from it. Ray J benefited from it. And so I don't see the lawsuit there. We see the facts, and defamation, the essence of it is you're wrong. And in this case, we saw it. Well, at least some folks did. Where my wife at? No, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. But no, I don't see a case. Well, she can seek a cease and desist when he's doing it in the media. It's damaging her reputation. But in terms of defamation, not sure, because defamation, by definition, if it's a fact, that defeats the claim.
You know what he's focusing on? There's a line in the suit where they say Ray J has been on this for 20 years,
right,
won't let go of his relationship, brief relationship he had with her.
Let me just say, love Judge Mathis, he's wrong on this. The sex tape's irrelevant to this. What they're suing over is that Ray J is saying that the Kardashians are being investigated by the feds for racketeering. And if the answer to that is they are not, then that's a false statement. And then the question is, since they're public figures, was it said maliciously or recklessly? And if Ray J has that kind of animus, a jury could say yes. And if they do say yes, then you look to see whether there's damage to their reputation. We actually did a poll on our live stream, Jackson. I think it was 30.
It was around 37 to 63.
37% said it did do damage to the reputation. They believed it.
I agree with you. It doesn't immunize Ray J in any way from being sued by the Kardashians over
But he's
this
right
comment.
that they benefited by the sex
That's
tape.
the point, though. He's saying, why are you biting the hand that initially fed you and helped launch your careers? And the other point he's kind of making...
That's kind of what he's saying.
Yeah, and the other point is, be careful when you open up Pandora's box and you open the door to Ray J sort of having a platform to...
How many double entendres are you going to make in one segment? Just stop.
I can't even get a word out.
Hi, this is Eric from Sacramento. I agree with Judge Mathis because it's a no-win there. They're both consensual, and it'll bring out others. I'm sure someone else had a camera doing things, but man, they launched their careers with this, so let it go. That was BK. That's before kids, so think about the kids.
Coming up.
Well, now that Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban have settled their divorce, they both signed off.
We should say they're not divorced yet.
They're not divorced yet
They've
because the
signed
judge
a
has to
settlement.
sign
Right,
off on it,
right.
but they've signed it. The big question everyone is wondering is who is the person that Keith has moved on with?
Be right back.
Well, now that Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban have settled their divorce, they both signed off.
We should say they're not divorced yet.
They're not divorced yet
They've
because the
signed a
judge has to
settlement.
sign
Right,
off on it,
right.
but they've signed it. The big question everyone is wondering is who is the person that Keith has moved on with?
Well, it started where we didn't know even if there was a person, but we were getting, lots of, tips and, chasing stories down that it seemed like there was somebody he's moved on with.
Right. And now,
Feeling
right or wrong,
feeling like we know.
right or wrong, there's a lot of attention on someone who plays in his band. Her name is Maggie Baugh. Now, we showed you one clip yesterday from a performance just a few days ago where it seemed like there was some chemistry. Well,
He also
now,
changed the words
where he
to a
changed
song.
the words to The Fighter,
And-
where he said, Maggie, I'll be your guitar player. Well, now we've got a clip from a performance back in April. This was in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay, and the chemistry is definitely undeniable. The question is it just for show, or is it more? Maggie, I'll be your fighter. Of course, his fans certainly know that song was really written about Nicole Kidman. It was inspired by her.
And to change it to Maggie, who's on the stage. And by the way, this is in April. We thought the
they
separation
split up
was
in
June.
Right. Which doesn't necessarily mean,
Right.
Could have been, also
Right.
means there could have been trouble before June. They just
right.
separated.
I think people are now going back and combing through all these performances that he's been doing. He's been on tour, and they're just seeing undeniable chemistry between him and Maggie. It's a very flirty exchange because, look, he does change the lyric to say, Maggie, I'll be your guitarist, but he does say, I was born to love you, and points right
Which
at her.
is the line, but the point being that he looked at her and then pointed at her when he sang
Yes,
it.
and then they hugged at the very end. Like you guys said, this was April. We know Nicole and Keith split sometime in June.
Formally.
Yeah.
Now,
but
I have there's something we haven't even talked about, but we're going to tell you now. When we broke the story that he had moved on,
right.
before we broke that story, hours before, we were told Nicole was trying to save the marriage.
Yes.
When we broke the story that he's moved on, it was literally a few hours later that all of a sudden she files for
filed
divorce.
Yes.
Right.
And we know
So
they did work out
it seems
some
like
kind of custody
she
agreement.
believes that.
Seems like there was a reaction
Yeah.
to the news
that
about
she
him and
believes
being
that.
with
Yeah,
someone,
it definitely seemed like a knee-jerk reaction. And we know that Keith had moved out. He acquired his own place. It's still in Nashville where the marital home is. But it seemed like he was moving on. And from people we spoke to in both Nicole and Keith's camp, they felt like somebody else was also in the picture.
When is he performing again? Next?
Tonight. He
Tonight.
performs
Hershey,
tonight.
In Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, yep.
So, boy, what goes on stage is going to be super
Right.
interesting.
And Maggie's still performing with him.
Hey, TMZ, I'm Matt in Florida, and this story, it doesn't impact me as much as it did my mom. My mom had texted me and said, "This is huge," because Keith Urban was one of her favorite judges on American Idol, and I just like this was earth-shattering news to her, and it's kind of it's disappointing. Like I guess they were like a stalwart couple, and my mom's just, she's more upset about this than her relationship with my dad. So,
wow. Apologies to your dad.
No, it's all good. Don't worry about it. If Harvey wants to be a divorce lawyer again, we can talk about that another time.
What's happening today?
I like this guy.
Harvey, I'm looking for a legal internship, so if you want, call. You know how to reach me.
Really? What law school?
Nova Southeastern.
Of course. Oh my gosh. We have his number, right? I like this kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, we hired somebody from an ice cream store just not too long ago.
We're going to need you to change that Mets affiliation though to Yankees, and then we'll talk.
Don't. That's a little raw right now. Please don't get me started on that right now.
Sorry, I know that was picking at it. Former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is responding to something that I can't believe he's responding to this, because it was so outrageous when Tucker Carlson made the claim that Pete Buttigieg is pretending to be gay, that he's a fake gay.
It's stupid, but it's interesting because we reached out to Buttigieg's people and they said no comment when it was said.
Right. Well, now he's talking about it. He went on the Channel 5 podcast with Andrew Callahan and had an interesting take on Carlson's theory.
Yeah. I mean, in a weird way, I guess it's progress. Like, I spent a good chunk of my life believing, knowing that like being gay would be a career ender for me. And honestly, I don't like thinking about it now, but there was a time when I would have done anything to not be gay. And then I grew older, I matured, I went to war. During that deployment, I thought like, this is insane to like be a grown ass man with no idea what it's like to be in love. Like if I get through this deployment, okay. I'm going to come home, I'm going to come out, and if it messes up my career, so be it. And so to now be at a point where a right-wing, whatever you want to call him, personality, his big conspiracy theory is that I'm secretly straight, is like kind of hilarious.
I kind of get his point.
Tell me how it's progress?
It's progress in the sense that there are a lot of people who are afraid to come out. I was for a long time.
Yes, I get that.
And he was too. And you're afraid to come out. And you present yourself as straight.
Oh, because you're worried that someone's going to say, because you're gay.
Right.
So now he's just skipping over him being gay.
Well, now it's like,
being gay.
Yeah, he's faking being gay because somehow that's an advantage.
Hey guys, let's remember what Tucker Carlson said. He said he's not gay at all. Obviously, that's a ridiculous thing to say, but it points to a bigger picture, and it's that Tucker Carlson and his buddies, what they're just trying to do is cast doubt about everything. They're trying to show people or tell people the Democrats are lying about everything, not just when it comes to policy, but when it comes to their personal lives too. So, of course, it's a ridiculous thing to say, and that's why I think when we reached out to Pete Buttigieg at the time and he said no comment, it's because he doesn't want to give him what he's looking for.
Hi, I'm Naja from New Rochelle. And honestly, we all know that politicians have historically had a great time being gay in the public eye. They've never had hardships whatsoever. So it would make perfect sense for this person of all times to pretend to be gay. That makes perfect sense.
She's from New Rochelle. What TV sitcom? What TV sitcom was based in New Rochelle?
I know the answer.
Do you know the answer?
Is it? Oh my God. Howdy Doody?
No. The Dick
that
Van
was
Dyke
Chicago.
Show. And by the way, that's not true.
What?
I was on the Howdy Doody show when I was 6.
Coming up.
Well, Morgan Wallen has certainly moved on past his incident in Nashville when he threw that chair off a rooftop bar.
He was arrested for it.
But
we never saw the video.
Never saw the body cam.
Body cam video, which has belatedly come out, and it is, shall we say, entertaining.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
BB Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too.
Did you just say, look at the water? I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at. TMZ. Well, Morgan Wallen has certainly moved on past his incident in Nashville when he threw that chair off a rooftop bar. The chair came crashing down near a police patrol car.
He was arrested for it.
Was arrested for it.
But we never saw the video.
Never saw the body cam.
Body cam video, which has belatedly come out, and it is, shall we say, entertaining.
It's been almost a year and a half, but man, this is definitely worth the wait when you see how he interacted with the officers and we always talk about famous people doing the "do you know who I am" thing. They clearly knew who Morgan Wallen was, but he called in backup in the middle of his arrest.
He called in backup.
What happened? I don't know. You don't know? Hold on. Hey, stay right there. He's the one that threw the chair. I'm in body. I didn't see him throw nothing. We weren't doing nothing up there. He's got nothing. The witnesses saying that he threw the chair. I promise you that. Let's go.
No, stay right here. You're not leaving yet. You're not free to go. We're investigating the situation, okay?
We've not tried to cause no problem, man. I don't know what I don't know why.
Well, a chair came flying off the roof and landed right next to my patrol car over there. We're just trying to figure out what happened.
As you should. Call Eric Church. I am. They're trying to take me out. They're trying to take me to jail outside of court. I'm not sure. I'm trying to say you. I know I didn't.
Just watch camera footage of you throwing a chair off, landing in lane 2 of traffic. All right?
So it's interesting because he did throw the chair, but I don't know what you're talking about in his bodyguards. He didn't throw anything. So
bodyguard's trying to do it, and then Eric. By the way, it's Eric Church's bar. The rooftop bar that he...
Now, I'm not sure why he called Eric Church in front of the cops. That's what's unclear.
Because it was his bar.
I understand. But what is he thinking? Eric Church is going to tell the cops to let him go?
I would assume he thought maybe Eric Church might have some more pull than he did with the cops. But so apparently Eric Church is, because you can't hear Eric Church in this body cam.
You can't hear him on the phone.
But according to his representative, he was telling cops and asked if they could just put Morgan in a private area while they were looking at the footage and not out on the sidewalk. So he allegedly was not trying to get him off, but it's still...
Well, I wasn't saying it was on Eric. I was wondering, why did Morgan Wallen call Eric?
He clearly
Because do you know Eric Church probably is in Nashville?
Right, well...
I was baiting you.
Morgan Wallen is Morgan Wallen, but because it was Eric's bar, he figured, maybe Eric can tell him.
There's something else that's just... I'm sorry, hilarious.
Yes.
So he's in the cop car.
So the call didn't work. They arrest him.
And he's in the cop car going to the station. Listen to this.
This is me and Thomas Rhett. Turn it up. That's me and TR. Hey, swing. That's me right there. Come on now, me and TR.
I'll tell you something funny. Every song in the career, I had to play with it. Really?
TR is one of the best. He's one of the best dudes in the world. He would definitely not be getting arrested.
It's
oh my God.
Hilarious.
They would just happen to turn on the radio. I mean, that probably happens a lot in Nashville.
It's almost like he had too much to drink.
Coming up. Well, police in Atlanta still have an arrest warrant out for Tyrese after his 4 Cane Corso Mastiffs mauled a King Charles Cavalier named Henry. Joining us is the owner of Henry, Harrison Parker. We are so sorry for your loss, obviously.
It's heinous.
Be right back.
Well, police in Atlanta still have an arrest warrant out for Tyrese after his 4 Cane Corso Mastiffs were out roaming the neighborhood off a leash, unattended by anyone, apparently. In fact, we know that because we've now seen video that the police released that shows the dogs going up to neighbors' doors and barking.
Really, really ominous.
And it's very ominous. They're very big dogs. And what unfortunately happened right after that video that we got, they continued on to another house where they encountered a little dog, a King Charles Cavalier named Henry, and mauled Henry and killed him. And that is why police aside from wanting to arrest Tyrese, they don't know where the dogs are. And that's a big part of this also.
We should say that one of the reasons why there is an arrest warrant is they're saying he's guilty of animal cruelty. The cruelty is to the dog that died because he was apparently letting his dogs run loose in this neighborhood, and essentially this became an inevitability.
Right. So joining us right now is the owner of Henry, Harrison Parker. He is joining us now. Harrison, welcome to TMZ Live. We are so sorry for your loss, obviously.
Thank you. I appreciate you covering the story, and it's nice to get my side heard. So I appreciate it.
So tell us your side, because I'm assuming this has to do with Tyrese allowing his dogs to roam the neighborhood.
Yeah. So just a normal night. I've had a dog prior, and we've always used invisible fence. We have a large piece of property, and it's in fact, I just got a quote to fully fence in the yard. It's like $25,000. Like, it's an expensive endeavor. So we've always just used invisible fence, which, by the way, goes up just 2/3 of the property. So the front third, Henry doesn't even go down. So that means the dogs went deep into my property, just to clarify. But what happened that night was, he's a smart dog, very affectionate, and he gets bored. So he pawed at the door, and I kind of spoil him. I just let him outside when he wants to, because he doesn't go out that long. He just goes out for a few minutes. He'll bark and do a little circle around the property, and then he comes back to the door and paws, and he wants to come back. But that night he didn't, and went out to look for him, and it was horrible. I mean, he was just a little pile of fluff. And I didn't even believe it was him, but it was in the dark. And I'll never forget, I picked him up. He was limp, and he was soaking wet, which I thought was really unusual. And we don't have a pool or anything, a fountain, so it was definitely like dog slobber. So
was there any sign? Did you have any idea? Obviously, you knew he had been attacked. Did you see the dogs that attacked him? Did you hear anything?
I definitely heard. I remember thinking to myself, there were lots of dogs barking, and including ones that sounded like deeper pitch. Turns out that those dogs hung around my property until like 11:30, because apparently Mr. Gibson had rented the property right next door to me. So animal control believes that those dogs were in that area because they were familiar with it.
Look, it sure looks like they're Tyrese's dogs. Has this been a problem in the neighborhood where these dogs have been allowed to roam loose? Can you give us kind of a sense of that over time?
Big time. I mean, I think that according to the neighbor that lives directly next to Mr. Gibson, it's been, I mean, they've had 5 documented animal control reports with the police, and that's just documented. I mean, I think he's been, to my understanding, breeding them in his backyard for a while now. I don't know how long, and it's just an ongoing issue. And it makes it so much worse, right? Because he actively knows they're free, he actively knows they're dangerous, and he did nothing about it for a long time. It's heinous,
There's surveillance video which pretty clearly shows these dogs were coming to your property. Has Tyrese contacted you to express his condolences, to say
he put
was
out a
sorry?
statement saying that
Did he ever contact you?
No, not at all. Not even a note or anything. And that's just one of many things that I think he's been dishonest about. He actually had an agreement with the police to turn himself in last Friday, and he did not. And, I just think that he needs to take some responsibility. I don't need the note. But if he would just take responsibility, do the appropriate thing with the law, that would be really my main wish.
Are you going to sue him?
I'm taking a look at that, but we'll see.
Harrison, when you hear that it seems just a couple of days after this incident, Tyrese said he was in LA, and now he's posted that he's going to Dubai. I don't know if he's there already. What does that make you think his plan is here with law enforcement?
I think it amplifies his character, right? Like, he snuck his dogs out because what happened was the animal control came at like 2 p.m. that day. I forgot which day it was, saying, hey, please give up the dogs. He wouldn't. So then they went and they got a warrant and they executed at 6 p.m. All the dogs except for a Pomeranian were gone. So he does that. He's saying he's cooperating with the law, and then he doesn't, and he's fleeing the country, essentially, or that's what it looks like, right? I think that it just the actions of this guy, I think, speak volumes versus his words, and I think it's highlighted in contrast to his words, and I think that he should really rethink it, and actually follow through with what he says. I think that would be good.
So look, they're just so horrible, and I got to say, you're handling this with more grace than I would. So we really just our deepest condolences to you.
Thank you very much. It's if you had caught me right after, I probably would have been in a different state. But I'm trying to keep cool and just stick to what's right here. So I appreciate all the support, and I appreciate the coverage. And I hope that maybe in the future, dogs will get more legal protections. And, because we love them, right? And we care about them. And I think that the fact that he didn't care on multiple occasions, I think, is a signifier that, the laws are not properly designed for to stop people like this, right? Or to de-incentivize them. So I'm hoping that maybe some sort of change or awareness will come out of this. So I really appreciate you covering the story.
Well, thank you for your time, Harrison.
Thank you.
Coming up.
Tomorrow is the day Diddy finds out what his sentence is, how long he will be behind bars.
Is he a target for various forms of violence because of the backdrop of this case?
Be right back.
Well, as we've been saying, tomorrow is the day Diddy finds out what his sentence is, how long he will be behind bars. And he's going to federal prison. We don't know which prison he'll end up in. He actually won't find out tomorrow, right? He'll just find out his sentence, and eventually they'll find out which prison he's going to. Do you think he's going to go to it's not going to be a maximum security, right?
I don't know what the judge is going to say. If the judge really predicates a harsher sentence on violence, I don't know.
Then it could be. A lot of things we'll find out tomorrow. If you're Diddy, you think you're kind of you prepare for the worst, and how do you mentally prepare, maybe even physically prepare for a stay in federal prison? There are people who help you get ready for that. Federal prison consultants. And our next guest, Sam Mangel, is one of those. He's a federal prison consultant, and he is joining us right now. Sam, welcome to TMZ Live.
Thank you very much.
So, Sam, let's get right to the core of this, that Diddy is not only famous, he is now notorious. Is he a target for various forms of violence because of the backdrop of this case?
Absolutely not. Understand, where he is now is probably the worst he will ever experience. If he is sentenced to any additional time over and above time served, he's going to wind up going to a low security facility. Right now, he's in what's called an administrative security facility that houses the worst of the worst. I have quite a few clients at the Brooklyn MDC. I've spoken to the mother of two of his children and was trying to explain to her where I suggested that he spends his sentence if he does get any time. So when he does get designated, if he's designated to more time, it's going to be like going from a Red Roof Inn to a Hilton. And that's the best way to explain it.
But wait a minute, why? I mean,
Brooklyn MDC does have a
No, and I understand that.
reputation.
But there are still, you're in prison and people have done various things that are, against the law, and some of them might be violent. The judge has said Diddy is violent, and he's shown it on that video. So there may be other violent people, and if they've seen him beat a woman, if they've heard of various things that he allegedly did, some of which are true and some of which were not true, that everybody thought, oh, the trial is going to be filled with this and that, and it wasn't in some of those cases. Nonetheless, people have it in their heads. So I don't understand why he's so immunized from that just because it's not a maximum security prison.
So he will be designated in all likelihood to a low security, not a camp, not minimum security. Where he goes, there will be a wall, there will be gun towers, there will most likely be cells. There will be a controlled movement, which means he can only move from his dorm to meals or to work 10 minutes before the hour, and he has 10 minutes to get there. He will be housed with sex offenders, violent criminals, gang members. But the Bureau of Prisons does the designation and security, not the judge. The judge can recommend a place to go, and the BOP typically follows it 70% of the time. There are better low security facilities than others. And when he gets there, the worst that will happen to him, depending upon where he goes, in my opinion, will be boredom. The BOP will not run the risk of something happening to him. Now, if he mouths off, if he does something stupid, well, yeah, he could get hurt. He's been in a much worse facility for the past 14 months. I don't think he's going to do that.
So I wanted to go back to something. You said that you'd spoken to the mother of one of his kids. Was she reaching out because he was looking for advice, or was this something she was doing on her own?
So she reached out to me, both as a former client, but to get my opinion as to where I think he should go. It's my understanding she was going to be speaking with his legal team after I had that conversation with her. The initial thought process was maybe sending him to Miami, where he has a home. My recommendation was to avoid Miami due to the demographics of that facility. I have clients in Miami. I spent 21 months at the camp in Miami, so I'm very familiar with that institution. I think there are better options for him based upon his security level.
Okay, well, look, we will see tomorrow. We really appreciate you coming on. Thanks.
Thank you, Sam.
My pleasure, thank you.
Coming up.
Yo, Matt Riddle? Oh my God. So good seeing you, man.
Good to see you.
Holy smokes.
At TMZ Studios.
Oh my God.
What's up?
Be right back.
Yo, Matt Riddle? Oh my God. So good seeing you, man.
Good to see you. Thanks
Holy
for having
smokes.
me at TMZ Studios.
Oh my God.
What's up,
How you
bro?
doing, man? I'm good, man. How you doing?
Wow.
Good.
Did you just do the
Just
podcast?
in the neighborhood?
Dude, I'm about to. Great day here in LA, and
I just walked out. I retired.
He was right outside.
No, I retired.
I got a glimpse.
He retired for like 3 minutes.
They told me, somebody on the live stream said, you're done, you're too old, retire. And I thought, great. And I walked outside and it's 80 degrees.
It's a beautiful day out.
I know, but I had to come
it's pretty
back.
beautiful in
Just
Orlando.
when I got out, they pulled me back in.
Yeah.
See your slides?
Yeah, dude.
See the slides?
No, I like them.
The Hogan tribute slides, bro.
And the toenails.
Yeah, I keep it clean. Keep it clean.
What?
He wrestles barefoot.
I do.
That's what he does.
Well, I never really understood why you would wear big boots.
Well,
anyway.
you know what it is? When I started wrestling too, these boots were like $500, and I'm like, dude, if I'm the UFC, I got these perfectly good feet. But, dude, I don't got that kind of money. I got like 3 kids then. I got 5 kids now, and that's how it is, man. You know,
I didn't know it was a money thing, but
pro
wrestling on a budget.
Yeah. You know?
Because I mean they're kind of heavy too, right?
Yeah. Oh, dude, heavy. But a lot of guys, like, you know, they're trying to cover up for something. They wear the lips in the boots so they get a couple.
You don't know anything about that. You don't know anything about that, right, Hart?
Anyway, let's change the
I did.
subject.
I wrestle barefoot. I'm like, I keep it real, man. I'll beat you up. So, yeah.
He's got a match on Saturday here in LA.
I do. MLW Slaughterhouse. I'm wrestling a guy named Hammerstone. He's jacked. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
Sounds
pretty
like it.
jacked. I'm pretty
Hammerstone.
jacked. But he's pretty massive. But following the UFC, I've done all world champion jiu-jitsu,
You have
national
fought in the
champion wrestling.
UFC.
Yeah,
Are you ever gonna fight him? Ask him about Dana White.
I would love to fight MMA again. I just feel like unless you're in the UFC, the money's really not there, right? There's not like those money fights. I feel like I'm more like the boxing's kind of where it's at right now. I'm not even the best boxer, but
Except,
I'm pretty tough,
But that's
you
not
know?
true about UFC because Conor McGregor broke out.
Yes.
And he did it from the UFC.
Yes.
So you can still do that.
Oh,
they have a massive audience.
I will say this: Dana White said it perfectly. Fighting in the UFC is not a career; it's an opportunity. Right. And Conor McGregor took the opportunity and ran with the ball. That's 100%.
But really, boxing's an opportunity too.
It sure
In
is.
fact, every sport, every professional
It is
sport.
these days. Back in the day, you had to like be 20-0 before anything. Now you can fight Jake Paul. And you know, be a millionaire.
But Dana's
make more
right.
money than you've made in your entire MMA career.
Dana and I don't see eye to eye in politics, but I love the guy.
Yeah,
And
he's a great businessman.
can I tell you, there are two people that I put above everybody else in business.
Yeah.
Dana White and Mark Cuban.
Yeah, they're pretty high on the list.
Dana is he is a brilliant businessman.
I agree.
An incredible. He bought the UFC in early 2000s for $2 million.
He saw something before. I mean, I'll be honest. I had the VHSs. I saw it as a kid. You know, he just had the opportunity. And
But he changed it.
He did.
He
He changed it enough to make it a sport
and to make it an entertainment thing rather than like this brutal kind of.
You know, yes, but it is always entertainment. Like perfect example. When I fought in the UFC,
Conor changed that.
Yes, but when I fought in the UFC, I actually was on a 3-fight win streak, never got paid more, I was still on the same contract. I lost the fight, but we got fight of the night. They signed me to a new contract, paid me more money. Lost again, 0-2. They signed me to a new contract, paid me even more money, and those fights I got bonuses. So it was almost like if I fought more entertaining, even if I lost, I got paid more. You know, so you kind of get paid for.
Did you feel like the third match you wanted to lose?
No, I just knew if there was like a $100,000 bonus, I'll go crazy. You know, you put your health and everything else on the line just for $100,000.
Huh.
You know?
You should get in. You should do that in the podcast. That's really interesting.
Yeah, no,
That's
we're
actually
gonna
so. Basically, you become reckless because it's entertaining.
Of course.
And you win, you lose, whatever. You're
get
going to make more money.
More fans, more everything.
That's really interesting.
Like Dana said, it's an opportunity. You know, everything is.
I love it. It's really nice
Harvey,
meeting you.
pleasure.
Can I chime in with one question?
Yeah.
Is there an easy wrestling move you can teach Harvey?
No. It's nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too.
Coming up. We actually ran into Nina Dobrev at LAX. We just saw the photos last week of her on vacation with some friends, including Zac Efron. So is she bouncing back after Shaun White? Here's what she had to say.
Be right back.
So this is pretty good timing. We actually ran into Nina Dobrev at LAX. We just saw the photos last week of her on vacation with some friends, including Zac Efron.
So they're on a boat, and they're the only two single people on that boat. And so.
So is she bouncing back after Shaun White? Here's what she had to say.
How you holding up? How's things?
Good.
You're good? You do good? You do good? It must be tough living everything out in public like that.
You know what? I'm excited for the future, and the only thing that's guaranteed is change.
Hey, that's the truth. That's the truth. I gotta ask you, was it anything to that Zac Efron? I saw photos of you. You just mates?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I believe that. I mean, they didn't do it.
The way she said it.
Yeah. Would it have been inappropriate to say, okay, well, did anything happen below deck?
Yes, that would have been appropriate to say now.